All right, you've made it to section 2, your profile's set up. Now it is time to start building a strong network. So, first, know that there are two types of LinkedIn accounts. There is a free account. One of the primary differences really is this back end prospecting. When you are making new connections as well, the free account allows you to have about 100 per week. The premium sales navigator is great, especially if you want to dig in deeper to people that you're prospecting. It also allows you to send about 150 invites a week so you can expand your network a bit quicker. InMail is something you may or may not want to use. I would suggest testing it. One of the big things with LinkedIn is a lot of people are using it for prospecting and prospecting people that might actually want your services. So some people are becoming very sensitive to spam or to new messages from people that they don't know, just assuming they're just wanting to sell with them. So that's something that we'll talk about and being really careful about when you message people, how you message people, so it just doesn't get dismissed as a cold outreach. So first, when you start connecting, who should you begin connecting with? Once your profile's set up, jump in by past and current clients, warm leads, industry peers, event contacts. You want to be careful who you add because it'll feel natural to want to add your friends and your family. This is a true story for me. I have wonderful aunts and they are very proud of me. And they were commenting and liking all of my content before they got tired of me. However, that signals to the algorithm that people who are in the demographic of my aunt's career and age and location like my content, and they're not actually my target customers. So though it would feel natural to want to invite people who you know and who would like your content, make sure they're actually in your target audience, the people that you're wanting to speak to. Otherwise, it could have a slightly negative effect on what you're doing. So, some pro tips for when you reach out to connect with people. When to personalize your connection requests. Personalize it if you know them. If you want to tell them what you're doing, if you think that they are within your target audience range and would engage with your content, let them know what you're doing. Let them know you're glad to connect with them. If it's one of your clients you maybe don't know quite as well, you can just say something like, "I've loved working with everyone at Joe's barber shop. Let's connect here." Something simple but personalized. I think that always goes a long way. It will also just be a first boost in reminding them of you and your services. Overall, you want to avoid fake flattery. And if you don't know them well, just skip the intro and send a straightforward request with no message in the invitation at all. Again, people are so triggered by spam recently that ultimately, with what we're doing, we just want to get a connection. You can expect about 50% of people to connect with you if you do not include a message. So we just want them to connect with you. And then when we're pushing out content, it will get right in front of them. So a great place to start is add contacts from your phone or email. And you will see some step by step processes to go do that. If you're connected with your work email or your work phone, that's a great place to just automatically add in all of those contacts. If you are not connected to either of those, or you do not have those automatically in LinkedIn, I suggest making a spreadsheet of all the customers you've had, however long you've been in business, and go in and start adding them. You can search their name, you can search by their email. Something to be mindful if there's multiple people doing this on your team, I would take that spreadsheet and split it apart into however many people are on your team and then strategically work through them so that Sally at the bakery doesn't suddenly get 4 friend requests from everyone at your company. You want to space it out to help it to feel and look authentic if you decide to go that. Okay, so the steps to building a strong network. We now are moving into connecting with your ideal customers. So be thinking about identifying your top clients, your top leads and partners. You will want to follow their profiles and their company pages. So if Pepsi is a target customer of yours, go to their page, follow their page. I'm going to show you a few ways that you can do prospecting to find the right people to talk to. So I know that there's a company in Denver called Arrow. I'm familiar with their brand. These are not our clients. So I think that they would be great clients. So I am looking at Arrow. I first am going to come over here and just simply follow their page. And then I'm going to go into their company page and I am going to look for people. And I am particularly interested in people that are in Denver. So I'm then going to click on Denver. And now I am seeing the list of all people that live in Denver that work for Arrow. And I specifically am interested in anyone in marketing. So, marketing director, sports marketing professional, that's my target demographic. I am just going to hit connect. I do not know him. Unless maybe I saw him in publishing, I followed him for a long time, a lot of respect for him. I am just going to go ahead and send without a note. And this is also another interesting feature of Sales Navigator. You'll see that there are listing actual decision makers in there, which all depending on your business model, this could be a great fit for. Brand management specialist. I'm going to hit connect on that as well. Social media specialist, that's a good fit for me. I'm connect with that as well. If it's a really large company, you're not quite sure who to connect with, or maybe your decision maker is not actually in your area, you can come up here and type in marketing. Right now, I believe I still have this filter for Denver metro area. It'll show me everyone within there. But if I want to expand it, I can hit that. And then I suddenly have 3,700 people in marketing. So you can decide on there based upon what you think is the best fit for your industry. And now I want to show you the back end. I do have Sales Navigator. I just want to show you how this prospecting piece works to be able to have a more of an extended reach. So you can do several things in this back end. Again, knowing that you have a limit on how many you can reach out to each week, I suggest saving it, putting something in your calendar to come back on a certain day and a certain time each week and continue going through and adding people. We want to create a big pool of your target demographic. And once you have good activity, then your post will start showing in front of them. We recently got a really great lead from a large company in Denver based upon my content on LinkedIn. It was actually someone who we had tried doing a cold email outreach from. And then we added him on LinkedIn at the end of that cold outreach. And he went to our website, filled out an inquiry, and specifically said, I found out about you guys through Jackie Zeller's content on LinkedIn. It can be a really awesome place for taking someone that's cold, warming them up via trust through your content, and then they'll just reach out to you. You don't even have to do the cold outreach for everyone. But first things first, we have to make sure to build an audience. I am going to come over and first just hit lead filter. And there are a lot of different variations you can do within here. So once you start to get comfortable with it, you can start finding your own strategies. You can do by current company headcount. And so let's say for me, our target demographic is people in marketing in this case. And so I'll just say I'm going to be going for companies anywhere from 51 to 200. We only work with people in Denver Metro. So I'm going to make sure to tag that area. You can add multiple ones if you want to be really specific, like Inglewood or Arvada. Job function. And here I'm going to put anyone in marketing, anyone in social media. Maybe that's not a job title yet. Marketing. We'll just do marketing for now. Keep it simple. Seniority level. I do not want entry. I would like more. I'll just say owner partner. I want to get right to the decision makers here. So once I have that together, I can now hit up. I can save this. I can save this to get notified. I can also come up and save the search so that in the future, it saved exactly the search for me. You can name it whatever you want, but I could just say marketing directors, anything you can remember with the specific search. I'll just hit save to keep it easy for now. And then what I'm going to come through here and do is you can do this several different ways depending on how detailed you want to get about it. You can just go straight to connect, or you can hit and look at their profile. The benefit of looking at their profile is if they have Sales Navigator, they will get a notification that you viewed their profile. People often just find interest in this. They say, who is looking for me? And then they may click to your profile, which will encourage more connection and more mind share for them. So I'm just going to go through their profile. Okay, she's got some interesting things in here. So this is the piece where you ask yourself the question to send a note in the connection or to not send a note in the connection. Say I came and looked at something here and I just thought this was super interesting. She's talking about a nursery. When I send her a connection request, if you feel like this is appropriate, again, test it and see which works best for you. But you can connect and add a note. So this section says add a note, and then you can connect with her. So she's actually located in Austin, which is not maybe her office is in Denver. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and connect with her, and I'm not going to send a note. And then what you can do from here that is also effective is you can come to her profile, and especially she's posted recently. This one is 2 months ago, and so it's not something new, but to start engaging with them. People always like flattery. They like knowing that you're interested in them. And then if they respond to you, it's also going to trigger to the algorithm that you guys have a special connection, and it will likely increase your content showing up in front of them. So I'm just going to come to this. This was 2 months ago, and I am just going to read her post. And I highly suggest authenticity. So if you just put a heart, if you just put a thumbs up, that's step one. But to actually authentically engage with their content to get them to notice you, to think about you, it's smart to just leave a question or to leave something that would actually trigger them. Everyone loves to think that they're brilliant, and often people don't get a lot of engagement on their LinkedIn content, and so they're really excited when someone engages with them on there. So often people don't get a lot of content. So you leaving a content is going to trigger interest for them to go to your profile and to learn more about you, and then again show back up in the algorithm. I would come here. I'm not going to actually post this because I think actually putting a thoughtful comment is the best way to start building a relationship with these people. But such a big thing for people. Asking a question is the best way to trigger a response, and people love when other people ask them questions. It helps them to see that, you're interesting. They feel like they're more of a thought leader. Such a big thing for people. Why do you see this impacting our demographics so much? Curious to hear your insights. Okay, curious to hear your insights. Comment, leave an emoji, something thoughtful and evoking curiosity. A question is the best way to trigger engagement with them. And then if this is someone who's a big account for you, you've really been wanting to work with Mom Cozy for a long time, don't be aggressive about it, but be strategic about it. Act like you genuinely care about this product and you're interested in the things that they're doing. And hopefully you're not acting like it. Hopefully you actually are interested, because authenticity breeds relationship. That is one strategy for looking at your leads. You can do a lot more research on this to build lists, to build leads that you can come back to these lists and just continue to engage with everyone on your list when you have made time for that. So now that you know some insights in engaging with thoughtful comments, and you can even share people's posts. So whenever you have an ideal customer and they post something that you think is thoughtful, sharing that to your network is also a really big boost for them and helps foster that relationship on LinkedIn. The last step in building a strong network is regularly adding new leads with a targeted strategy. So every time you get a new lead in your industry, after they inquire, add them to LinkedIn right away because they reached out to you. You can add a personal message like, thanks so much for your inquiry. Looking forward to connecting further. That then will trigger your content to become in front of them as well. It helps build credibility and trust before you actually jump on a call with them, which is ultimately one of our biggest goals with content. These next two slides will walk you through in detail with how to do prospecting, whether you have a free account or a sales navigator